Danjin has some of the highest damage in the game, but is also one of the riskiest characters to play if you want to bring out her full potential. She is also one of the 2 characters who doesn't actually have a cooldown on her resonance skill, which means the way you play her is by comboing her normal attacks and her resonance skills, but we'll get back to that later. First, let's get all the boring stuff like weapons, echoes, and fortes quickly out of the way. And I do mean quickly this time for real. Her best in slot weapon is the standard 5-star Emerald of Genesis. If you don't have that, use the 4-star craftable Sword number 18. The passive it gives is basically tailor-made for Danjin. You can grab this sword either from the weapon box you can get from the Tiger Mole Mine merchant who shows up the day after you finish the exploration quest there, or craft it. Her best echo set is the 5-piece Havoc set. If you don't have a full 5-piece of that yet, you can run a 2-piece plus 2-piece mixing Havoc and Lingering Tunes. Her best active echo for boss fights is going to be the big 3-cost mushroom guy, or if you run a 2-piece plus 2-piece, then the Mech Abomination. And for Tower of Adversity, it's gonna be Crownless. Her forte priority is Forte Circuit first, Resonance skill second, Resonance Liberation third, Basic attack fourth, and Intro skill last. While I didn't cover sequence nodes in my previous advanced guides, for Danjin, since she's a 4-star, I feel it is more appropriate, especially since she gains an insane amount of damage increase with each subsequent copy you get. I personally have her only at S3, but if you want to main her, I do recommend pulling on whatever banner she appears on next and pray to the gacha gods that they bless you with a few copies of her. See how quick that was? Anyhow, let's jump into the advanced stuff, which is what we're here for, innit? Let's start with her kit. You have a 3-hit basic attack chain, and each of those can branch out into different resonance skill attack chains. Those resonance skill attacks all drain a percentage of your health and also give you Ruby Blossom stacks even if they don't hit an enemy. The stacks, by the way, are shown on your forte gauge. Charging this up lets you access her insane burst damage through her enhanced heavy attack. This attack also heals you for a percentage of your health and has 2 versions. A half-est one, which you will primarily use if you want to play Danjin as a sub-DPS, and the fully charged nuclear bomb, which you will be mostly using either if you play her as a main DPS or if you play her solo. Her Resonance Liberation is her getting angry at whoever took her 20-piece mech nuggets and then slicing them up for some nice burst damage. Due to how Danjin's kit is designed, she's gonna have a lot of combos. And what I'm about to say might shock you, but I will not be going over all of them just to increase the video length by 2 minutes and fill your head with garbage you don't need to know to actually play her well. Instead, I'll only cover the practical ones which you should be using. Your first combo, which you will be using more often than anything else, is Dodge Counter cancelled into 2 casts of your Resonance skill. If you check her fortes, you will see that she even gains a bonus if she uses her Resonance skill this way. While she will lose more HP from the skill used this way, she also gains more Ruby Blossom stacks. Not only that, but this combo also applies the damage amp debuff to enemies. The next combo, which also applies your damage amp debuff to enemies, is going to be 2 basic attacks followed by 2 casts of Resonance skill. Use this whenever you only have a shorter opening after landing a dodge counter or a parry on your enemies, or if you haven't applied your damage amp yet. The very last combo you will be using is 3 basic attacks followed by 3 casts of Resonance skill. Doing this combo will take a bit longer time, but also charge your Ruby Blossom gauge more than the previous one. Besides that, it will also give you a heavy attack damage buff for 5 seconds. Keep this in mind because this will be very important later when we discuss her optimal rotations. There is technically a 4th combo you will be using, which is using her intro skill and then cancelling that into 2 casts of your Resonance skill, so do keep that in mind when you play her in a team. Now the big money shot in your kit, doing even more damage than your Resonance Liberation, is going to be your fully enhanced heavy attack. It has more than double the multipliers of your half-assed enhanced heavy attack and takes exactly double the Ruby Blossoms to gain access to. That said, depending on whether you play Danjin solo, as a main DPS, or as a sub-DPS, as I previously mentioned, which level of heavy attack you will want to be using will vary. If you play solo or a main DPS Danjin, then you will always want to fully charge her Ruby Blossom stacks and play her at a low HP. If you play her as a sub-DPS however, especially in a Havoc Rover Hyper Carry team comp, your ideal rotation will be intro skill, 2 casts of your Resonance skill, followed by combo 3, straight into your enhanced heavy attack, followed by your resonance liberation. This combo chain will fully charge your Concerto gauge, allowing you to quickly swap over to Havoc Rover. With a sub-DPS Danjin, that will already pretty much cover everything you need to know. In case you ever need to land your dodge counter combo after swapping into Danjin, that will build your Ruby Blossom stacks by the same amount as combo 3. That said, to get max damage, you ideally don't want to skip out on using combo 3 altogether in your rotation, because it does give you that 30% heavy attack bonus, remember? The best is, however, is that it will give you that bonus even if you only land the first part of the resonance skill chain in combo 3, so you can shorter your combo to 3 basic and then 1 skill, cancelled into enhanced heavy attack, and you'll already get the damage boost. Do note that once you have your heavy attack locked and loaded, it is extremely important to not waste it, since it is a huge amount of burst damage. Instead of trying to use it as soon as possible, wait for an attack from the boss, dodge counter it, and instead of comboing into your resonance skill cast from the dodge counter, hold the button and you will cancel the dodge counter into your enhanced heavy attack. This heavy attack also has a follow-up, which is also substantial damage, so don't forget to use it. You just have to tap the basic attack after you finish the heavy attack animation. So having covered her most important combos, as well as how you should be using them, let's take a look at her max damage rotation for when you do have an opening to wail on the enemy. For sub-DPS Danjin, it's the same idea as before. As for the main DPS Danjin, here's the full rotation. Start by applying your damage amp debuff with combo 2, then follow up with combo 3. Then again do combo 2, and then once again do combo 3. And then cancel your next basic attack into your enhanced heavy attack, which should be fully locked and loaded by now. After that, repeat the same exact combo. Do note that if you start out with any Ruby Blossom stacks already on you, then you can stop doing the rotation and jump straight to using heavy attack as soon as the gauge fully gets charged. And then, again, just restart the same rotation. Combo 2, combo 3, combo 2, combo 3, and then enhanced heavy attack. Depending on how long it takes for the enemy to recover, you can potentially fit 2 of these rotations into that damage window. So having covered her solo, her sub DPS, and also her main DPS rotations and combos, let's take a look at what team comps she can fit into. Ideally, as a sub DPS, you want to have Havoc Rover as your main DPS, but Concerto works surprisingly well too. Concerto's quick swappable heavy attack has the perfect length for you to fit in a combo 2 and the resonance liberation before swapping back to Concerto, losing absolutely no field time on him. Other than these two, I feel like running her as a sub DPS for any other character feels kind of wasteful for 2 reasons. One is that most other characters can benefit way more from other sub DPSs, while the other is that she works so damn well as a main DPS. For teams with Danjin as the main DPS, you could run a variety of sub DPS characters with her. My personal favorite is Yinlin, but you can also do Mortefi for even juicier enhanced heavy attacks, Spectral Rover just for utility, or Chixia in some sort of dual DPS team comp. You could even run some wacky teams with Yuan Wu as a sub DPS if you have him at S6, or Taochi works okay as well. She works even better as a support if you want to run a full Havoc team with Taochi, Danjin, and Havoc Rover. That about covers pretty much everything you need to know about Danjin. Well, everything practical anyway. Let me know in the comments if you have any fun team comps you run her in that I didn't talk about, and make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it or if it helped you. Or dislike it if you didn't, that's also fine. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more advanced, to-the-point character guides, ranting about the metagame, boss fight videos, and other stuff like that. I'm Dr. Misk, until next time, peace